In 1928, Stalin introduces the first 5-year plan to industrialize the Soviet Union in a state-managed economy. He fears Western intervention against his regime. He still has to prove himself to the party, to consolidate his strength and power. Moscow needs to squash any resistance and exploit Ukraine's resources to pay for the industrialization. The cost of buying equipment for mines and steel mills is high. The Kremlin needs international currency to pay for Western technology and the 4,000 Western specialists working in the USSR. Using Ukrainian steel, Stalin's priority is to build armaments for his world revolution.
This is why grain became such a valuable medium of exchange in the development of Soviet industry. But the grain had to be extracted from the villagers who grew it. And I stress, these farmers were mainly of Ukrainian origin. Let us assume that circumstances forced the Bolsheviks to confiscate grain and export it to the West. But why confiscate the last cob of corn, the last potato? This smacks of something else. This was so everyone would die.
Mostly children and old people died. But no one cried. They lay swollen. Lord, give us at least a crumb of bread from heaven. It was so sad to look at people crawling, unable to walk. They would fall and not get up again. That was it. Legs swollen, hands swollen. How could they get up?
We searched in basements, in barns, in lofts, and found corpses there. We placed 3, 4 on a ladder and put them on the ox cart.
So as not to come for him tomorrow, they hauled him away today with the others. They carted him to the graves. He was still moving and gradually died. He had to, because there was no water, no bread, nothing.
By the forest, there was another brigade charged with the task of digging a pit for corpses. No records were kept, no lists.
They gave out a list. I read it. Half the names were missing. Yet many were on it. Horrifying.
In 6 months in 1933, from January to June, 6 of our family starved to death. 5 remained, I among them. Then the wolves came in great numbers and dragged the corpses around. There wasn't a single village in which cannibalism did not occur, because starvation drives people insane.
The 1948 UN Convention on Genocide also states in Article 2B that genocide involves deliberately causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group.
Ukrainian society suffered such stress from the Holodomor. The very bearers of the Ukrainian ethnos were destroyed.
This fear existed during the whole Soviet epoch. God forbid the wrong thing was said. The genocide against the Ukrainian nation, although it did not kill the entire nation, it broke its backbone. It needed to be repaired. And I think to this day the Ukrainian nation has not regained its backbone. It is still damaged.
Ukrainians were specifically targeted in areas inside and outside Soviet Ukraine.
Since 90% of Ukraine's population were ethnic Ukrainians, against whom then was this policy directed?
A special commission covers up the truth concerning the high numbers of deaths resulting from the famine. In a secret document in April 1934, all the official registries of Soviet Ukraine are ordered destroyed. Stalin accuses the registrars of falsifying numbers and arrests them. The Kremlin wants to further conceal the scale of the Ukrainian genocide by transplanting Russians and other nationals in place of the indigenous population that was deported or starved to death. Following the famine of 1932-1933, the genocidal process persists. The systematic purges of the Ukrainian population, the intelligentsia, including Ukrainian communists in 1937-1938, the mass killings of Ukrainian prisoners during the Soviet retreat from the Germans in 1941, the arrests and exile to the gulags till the late 1980s, all form part of a repeated pattern, the destruction of a nation. On November 28, 2006, the Parliament of Ukraine recognizes the famine of 1932-1933 as genocide. However, even with the genocide revealed, the physical and political map of Ukraine has changed. It will take years to erase the effects of Soviet presence in Ukraine and to heal the wounds of genocide.